bro. Like we were talking about earlier, the projecting. White people didn't even consider us human, 3/5 human. That was never our problem. Our main problem is why we considered them human in the first place. If anybody 3/5, look at that behavior. Who eat people? Who would feed a baby to an alligator? Who would do that? Who would exterminate buffalo just so people wouldn't have nothing to eat, wouldn't have a source of food, just to punish people? Who would give people disease-ridden blankets? Who would do this? Who would create black codes? If you walking along the train line, you going to prison. Vagrancy laws. Same thing they doing now. Our issue isn't our humanity. Our issue is trying to prove our humanity to people who don't behave in a humane way.
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chakadash. Double honors to my elders, my apostles, a great millstone, which are the men that rule and taught us his truth, peace, blessings, and salutations to the electors always. And like you saw in the beginning of the clip, that content creator, I don't know if he considers himself an activist, probably, but Deontay Kyle, speaking about Esau Edom, and, you know, I just wanted to bring out scriptures on the fact that he is Esau Edom, you know, so-called white man is Esau Edom, because he was talking about the so-called white man, and that's just the missing piece to the puzzle for the majority of our people. They don't realize that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is Esau Edom in the scriptures, and he's our evil twin brother that hates us. And that's always been the missing puzzle. See, because he made a good point that the real issue within Israel, you know, he didn't say Israel, obviously. You know, he's saying black people, right? So-called Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Southern Kingdom. You know, but really all the tribes, you know, Northern and Southern Kingdom, right? Judah, all the way down to Issachar on the 12 tribes chart. You know, all the tribes have that issue of wanting to be accepted. And he made a good point that, you know, we messed up by trying to look at him as a human, which, if you want to get technical, he's not a human, because hue means color and man is man. He's not a human. He's right. He's not a human being. You know, Esau looked at us as 3/5 of a human, you know, while he's really the wicked and the basest of men, the scriptures call him. And he's always been that missing puzzle piece to our people. And what our people don't realize is you can't bring something clean out of unclean. And the scriptures even say, you know, actually, I'm going to grab it. Oh, Salakia, wrong. It says, let favor. I don't think it's, oh. I don't know how I spelled that wrong. Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, which the wicked is the so-called white man. I'm going to prove that in a second. It says, let favor be showed to the wicked, which favor is like grace, right? Let favor be showed to them, right? You give him mercy, right? Yet will he not learn righteousness. See, that's the thing. Like the Jake said, I was going to call him a brother. I didn't mean a brother in the sense of in the brotherhood, but, you know, like that Jake said, man, you know, they cooking, they eat people, you know, I mean, these are people that have sex with animals, man. These people are sick, right? So let favor be showed to them, yet will he not learn righteousness. How many times have our people marched and sang songs instead of reacting with violence? So every time, and what? He's still fucking y'all up. You know, and because he's one of those guys, Deontay, he's one of those guys that will advocate, you know, the use of violence and saying, F all that, I got time today. He's one of those type of guys. And, you know, I don't want to say, because he's not right, because in reality, we need to be spiritual in these times. But at the end of the day, you know, that's how big of a coon Jake is nowadays, man. They're the type to just, oh, we gonna kumbaya, this my brother, I love you, my brother. You know what I mean? They'll do that with Esau, but kill people from our community, right? But that's the thing, man. At the end of the day, you know, when you let favor be shown to the wicked, he ain't gonna learn righteousness. It says, in the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord, right? So the wicked is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That's another nickname, or that's another code word for them in the scriptures, okay? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, which the power of the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So by the process of elimination, who has covered the faces of the judges, which the judges are the Israelites, God, who people call God, the name of Yahweh. His true name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. Who covered the face of Jesus, so-called, right? Who made him a white man? Who made God white? So much so that growing up, you really, when you think of God in your mind, you think of a white man with a big white beard and long, stringy white hair. Come to find out that was not right. Who covered the faces of the judges? Who told you God looks like them? It's very easy, by the process of elimination. Moab didn't do that. Ammon didn't do that. The Japanese, the Chinese, they ain't make no Chinese Jesus. Hey, but they did that. The so-called white man did that, though. Okay? So, we know that the wicked, now that we have that established, the wicked is a so-called white man. All right? And they're the wicked because they commit wickedness. Everything they do is contrary to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, which is another word for Esau, we are impoverished. Because he was first called Edom. All right? Name later changed to, Salakia. When he came out the womb, he was Ishashua, Esau, wasted away as he. Then changed to Edom, out of womb, which is red. Right? Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, which is what they did, right? Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, meaning everywhere they go, they will be pointed as the wicked, and that's what they are now. Like the scriptures say, the churl shall no more be liberal, nor said to be bountiful, right? So they're not looked at as royal nobility anymore. Everybody is making fun of them. Genetically inferior. They're genetically inferior, and they're just inferior because the Lord rejected them and he chose Israel. All right, so they'll be called the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever, which is righteous anger. So the Lord is going to hate them forever. All right, and at the end of the 24, man, they have to be, and they are identified, and they have to be identified, because Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So you see them going through what they're going through and what they're doing to us, and just know it's their end. Because once they came into power, that was the beginning of their downfall, right? So they're the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So when you read, and I'm not going to read it for time's sake, but when you go read Micah 2, go read Micah 2 from the beginning to the end, right? The things that people say about them, they always come into lands and steal them. That's in Micah too. This devil is described to a T. Everything that he has done, everything that he will do is described in the Bible. He is identified in the scriptures. Okay? But that's the missing puzzle piece for our people. They just can't seem to put a finger on it. They think, this is the right way to deal with them. No, the right way to deal with them is call upon the Lord so he can destroy them. They're not promised mercy. Read Obadiah. All right? So, because it says people who against whom the Lord hath indignation forever, because the Lord is not going to forgive them for what they've done. They have to pay with 1,000 years hard bondage and then destruction, obliteration from the earth, which is the main thing that they always fear. That's why it's so funny. Subconsciously, they're the minority. They're the true minority. They always like to put that title on the rest of us. We're the minority, when really we're the majority, right? These people can't pop out babies to save their life. But when you look subconsciously, they know that that's what their downfall is. That they know that that's what's going to happen to them, because when you look, they're always talking about, we want to get rid of these people because we have to preserve ourselves. No one's after you, man. Or so you think. That's the thing. He's a thief. That's a vagabond. He's always feels like he's being chased when everybody's just trying to mind their business. But he has to destroy us. He has to come after us. Why? Because he knows his downfall is imminent. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, which is exactly what we're doing. All right, beginning with our elders, man. They've revealed who Esau, Edom was. All right, they've revealed who the so-called white man is in the Bible and what his end is. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which we're doing it through the spirit right now. All right. Revealing him through the scriptures. Identifying him in the Holy Bible. Right? That's one way. And it says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, because when Yahushua comes back, them chariots are going to burn them. All right? Some chained up, some blown to smithereens, some obliterated by that concentrated fire. And here's the point. Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Now the workings of Satan, man. What did that man say, man? Eating people. Beating the shit out of us. You know? Behaving like a savage. That's the so-called white man. Everything he does is adverse to life. Everything he does is adverse to the Heavenly Father. You see? That's how you can identify him. It's not very hard. But that's the missing, like I said, man, that's the missing puzzle piece for our people, man. They don't realize he is the wicked in the Bible. They always just look at him as, man, this guy, man, we got to treat him a certain way. Nothing's working. Well, no shit. He's the wicked. He's not ever going to learn righteousness. Okay? But, hey, at the end of the day, it's the Lord's doing when he's going to get taken out of the way. All right? Our job is to just, pray to Yahweh for deliverance, because he's not done yet. See, he has more destruction coming, and that's what these people fail to realize, that he's after us. All right? Eventually it'll happen where he's just going to straight up implement martial law and try to slaughter, that the scriptures say that he's going to be spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, which is the Israelites. But hey, at the end of the day, the Lord's going to deliver us. All right? But that's all I wanted to bring out through the Spirit. Our Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaChakadash, double honors to my elders, my apostles, great millstone, which are the men that rule and taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect as always, man. Shalom.